Where are you?
So I think let's particularly talk about the U.S., but I think it's generally true of the world. We are in this Goldilocks period right now in which we have had a beautiful deleveraging.
What Ray Dalio means by the beautiful deleveraging is that there's a perfect balance between austerity, amount of debt restructuring, and printing money. So those three options are ways you can deleverage, and you have to strike the right balance between the three: austerity, printing money, and debt restructuring.
The inflation isn't a problem. Growth is good. Everything is pretty good, with a big jolt of stimulation coming from the changes in tax laws and such. That is going to, at the part of the cycle, we're at the later part of the cycle. So if you look at the operating rates and you look at the GDP gap and measures, we're going to have a jolt of stimulation into that. And there's a lot of cash on the sideline.
And this could be a potential problem because investors could use that cash to buy more and more assets, which will drive the asset prices up, which could potentially lead to a asset bubble.
I don't mean just investor cash. I think banks have a lot of cash. Corporations have a lot of cash. So we're going to be, I think, inundated with cash. I think that that's going to produce a lot of stimulation, and I think perhaps a market blow-off. In other words, we're in a situation where if you're holding cash, you're going to feel pretty stupid. And with that, everybody is going to become more deployed. Classically, this is late cycle behavior.
So basically, if you're holding cash, then you have a fear of missing out of the party. And if everyone feels that way and deploys their cash, this will lead to an asset bubble.
Movement. Then the interesting question is, how does the Federal Reserve react, or how do other central banks react? I think it's a very difficult thing to get monetary policy precise. That's why we have recessions, because you never can get it exactly right. I think it's particularly difficult to get it right now because of the fact that with interest rates so low, all assets trade at the present value of the future cash flows, so interest rates affect all assets.
Basically, Ray Dalio is warning the Fed to be very, very careful in how you change interest rates in the next year or so.
Because the duration of bonds and debt has lengthened, it just takes a little change in interest rates to have a bear market. And so the things that we look at are, in terms of the tightening of monetary policy, will it be tighter than is discounted in the curve, right? We have a very small amount of tightening which is built into the curve. If it is greater and interest rates rise are greater, that can affect all asset prices.